Ladies and gents, welcome back to the TSI YouTube channel for episode number 3 of the Glory Hunter save. It's season number 3, and it has been a while since we last did an upload of this save. But for those of you that remember, we are at Atletico Madrid. We have just started the season. We're in the summer transfer window. We played just one game so far, but we are back. Player career mode and the Glory Hunter save in tandem going forward. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. At the time of recording this, we are on the verge of 700. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet and you've been enjoying the content, we would really appreciate you following. Link to all the Twitch, Discord, all of that sort of stuff is down below as well. Make sure you're in the comments as well. Give me some feedback on the save. Let me know how you're enjoying it so far. As we said, just the one game played so far. That was against Levante. We had a 2-0 win. We're going to get into the thick of it today. 5 games coming your way. 3 of them we'll play. 2 of them we'll sim as always. Getafe first, before we go away to Celta Vigo. And then it's Sociedad before we go away to Osasuna. And then there's 2 massive games. We play Barcelona and Real Madrid in back-to-back games. One of them will come your way today. Squad-wise, we of course have got a bit of transfer budget. We've still got £125 million in the budget to play with. We are looking to hopefully bring in some players. A player that could be going out, and mainly because it was kind of forced upon us. Cardoso, £72 million bid from Dortmund accepted. Player that I don't think would have played too much for us, but we are going to try and bring some players in. Of course, we did sign James Trafford as our backup goalkeeper. That happened in the first episode. If we have a little look at the squad, we'll just go through in terms of where we're looking to strengthen. So coverage at right back, left back potentially is where we need. Centre backs, I think we're absolutely fine. I'm going to try and bring another central midfielder with Cardoso going out, and I need a little bit of backup on that wing especially. So I think a new right winger potentially to fight with Simeone for that place is on the agenda. Everything else I think is going to stay as it is. We've just given Simeone a new contract. We've just given Oblak a new contract as well. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. Centre half maybe to try and strengthen instead of Hanko. But yeah, definitely on the right-hand side, that is where we're looking to strengthen going forward. But we're going to get into this first game. We are going to play the first one, try and get to the grits with the squad, and try and kickstart our start of the season. Away then, our first home game adds the gaffer. The first game went pretty well. It was pretty comfortable as far as wins go. We will get tougher games, that's for sure. But we have a very, very good squad of players to work with, and a squad that we will, I'm sure, get used to playing with. It's slightly different from the Crystal Palace squad we have, but again, just looking to try and get a good start to the season before we play Barcelona and Real Madrid in upcoming games. Barrios into Alvarez. Alvarez is going to go out wide to Simeone, who we're just trying to reward with a new contract, and he's got us back to goal now. We'll go all the way back to Barrios. Barrios inside to Julian Alvarez. There's a shot from distance, and it just ripples the side netting. That would have been a bright start to this game. Ange Postecoglou in the other dugout finds himself with a Spanish job at Getafe, so looking to get one up on him. Amar Gallagher now on the ball and got a pocket of space to work into. Goes out wide to Alex Bonea. And we cut back inside. Can we create anything here? Almada on the edge of the box. Just trying to make something happen. Don't force it. Having plenty of possession. We will get games like this. Games where Sarge just stick men behind the ball. Reece James puts the ball to the box. I think Alvarez would have been offside. He was offside. The linesman has his flag up and Soria comfortably claims. Barrios does really well to pick up the ball. We'll go out wide. Simeone is onside, makes a brilliant run and can drive into the box now. And can he cut back inside onto his left foot? Shoots in off the post. And that's the way to start the game. 26 minutes in. It has been one-way traffic. And Simeone repays our faith with that new contract offer with a scintillating goal cutting in off that right-hand side onto his left foot, bends it into the top corner. There's not a keeper in the world that's saving that. Atletico Madrid lead 1-0. Juliano now inside. Can he find the run of Julian Alvarez? Does find the run of Julian Alvarez. Warfield cuts it off there and Koke will come forward. Getafe looking to try and answer this constant Atletico Madrid pressure. We're starting to see the players that are going to make an impact for us. It's the one thing I love about going to a new club. You start to find your new heroes, you start to find your new favourites, and we are doing that early in this one. But Uche is there, of course, a man that was at us with Crystal Palace, a man that never really got a game time. We did let him go very early, so I'm sure he'll be keen to get one over us if he can, as Juliano now down this right-hand side. Simeone looking to make the run. Can he get anyone in the box? There's nobody really in the box. Cuts it back, tries to fire. Julian Alvarez can't. We will reset the ball though. Reece James now. Can he beat his man? Puts the ball into the box to try and find the head of Conor Gallagher, but can't. Getafe clear. Start the second half. Getafe looking to get back into it. They're not been in the game so far back for the first time he's been called into action. He will look to distribute quickly this time. Out wide. Can we get there? Simeone does get there. Reece James plays the ball back to him. Wonderful build-up play. There's some strong chemistry down this right-hand side. It's exactly what we need to see. As Simeone is going to try and dink the ball into the box to Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez tries to twist and turn. Couldn't get him clear. And again, we don't want to really be pinging balls into Julian Alvarez. Heading is not his strong point. Not what we're really looking to do. He's not the biggest player in the world. As Cucurella is just finding Reece James. And we're trying to create something again here. As Almada now is going to try and spin his man. But Puerfeld, who's had a brilliant game for Getafe, clears the ball once again. Barrios to Simeone again. Plenty of joy on the wings. Pretty narrow from Getafe. They're kind of clogging that midfield, and it's allowing us to use the wingers and try and get us into some good spots. As try and get the ball into the box. It will be the corner, the first corner of the game for ourselves. Bonea will take it, put the ball into the box. Can we find the head of anyone? No, we can't. It will go to the edge. Julian Alvarez is there. Getafe will comfortably clear. And whilst it's at 1-0, this is very much still game on here. Almada. Bonea now down this left-hand side. And again, we're just looking to create something. Just trying to cut back in. Almada now finds Barrios. Barrios going to go inside this side. Simeone again! Oh, it would have been special. It would have equalled or been better than his first. As we do make a triple substitution. Moise Kean, Jimenez and DePaul coming onto the pitch to try and give us some fresh legs. That should have potentially been 2-0 and game, set and match. Chance. Koke. What a save from All Black. Their first clear-cut opportunity. And another player who we've just given a contract celebrating as if it is a goal. And it is as good as a goal, because that should have been 1-0. And we said it earlier, whilst it's 1-0, there is very much still game on as Cucurella tries to come across. That will be a goal kick. And that is a huge let-off for Atletico Madrid. Inside to Moises Kean, who'll go back to Conor Gallagher. He's not had the best of games, but Conor Gallagher is in on goal. Oh, sure, had to get right. Otherwise, that was a stone wall penalty. Did enough to put Conor Gallagher off. We've got 3 minutes just to try and see if we can hang on to this 1-goal lead or potentially kill the game off right at the end. The Nomad inside to Barrios. DePaul now. Can he find Moises Kean? He will find Moises Kean. But I think he's just stayed on side, and he had end-to-end stuff at the end of this game. Late drama potentially on the cards as the referee blows this whistle. We had to work for it. We were by far the better team. Clear-cut the better team against Getafe. We've got to be more clinical in games going forward, especially against the bigger clubs. It is 3 from 3, though. Wasn't necessarily a transfer we were expected to make, but £72 million for Cardoso is good business on the paper. And again, he doesn't really fit into our system, and I think we can use that money to reinvest. So I think that is a very good bit of business for us. £72 million, player market value 43. I think he would have got better, but I think it's a good bit of business on the face of it. We will simulate the game against Celta Vigo. We are going to go unchanged, exactly the same starting 11 that started the game against Getafe. First simulated game. We didn't have the best of luck last time when we were at Crystal Palace with these. We do have better luck this time. A 4-0 comfortable victory for us. Simeone gets 2. Alvarez gets 2. That is the perfect start to the simulated games. We are going to make a move for Brennan Johnson. And the logic is that because he can play on both the left and the right, that he's a good, versatile player, because we're not necessarily looking for somebody to be a starter all the time. We're looking just for depth in the squad. At 26 years old, I don't think he's going to get much better, but he could be a very, very good squad player for us. And he wants the rotation as the squad role. 4-year deal, that's absolutely fine. I think this would be good for the money. I want to deny a release clause if we can. We do. And now it's just about the wage. He's on 120 grand a week currently. Let's offer him 120 and see if he'll accept that. He will accept that. That is a good, smart bit of business. It's not the best player we could have got on the market. However, he is going to add some squad depth, and he will add some talent at 83 rated. So Brennan Johnson, bit of a rogue one, but it's an Atletico Madrid player. The player out the door on deadline day, Langley. We were never going to give him much more game time. His contract was up at the end of the season. £12 million also added to the bank. I've still got a decision to make. I'm not sure whether we do make another sign, and we could. Simeone, of course, is definitely not going. I could accept DePaul's bid because he's 82 ready to get another. I think we might accept that. We're not going to accept the hope on that's for sure. We might accept that and then look to maybe bring in a young central midfielder who could potentially progress. I think that is probably the plan. We are going to try and sign 21-year-old Joby Bellingham from Borussia Dortmund. And I think it's a good idea. I'm going to try and offer 30 million. He does have a release cost of 37, but I wanted to potentially get it less than that, and I think we can do that. Let's offer 32 flat, and we'll leave that potential sell-on clause in there. I want 33.3. We'll accept it. It's below the release clause, but again, 80 rated player, but a young 21-year-old. And I think, again, with DePaul potentially going out of the door, I think this is a good signing that, again, will add a bit of depth to start. We'll put him on a rotation. Hopefully he'll accept that. He does accept that. We'll put him on a 4-year deal. And again, he might not be a player that we use too much, but again, I think it's just smart business with the finances that we've got. And it's a good time to, obviously, we're shipping DePaul out, so we'll offer him 40 grand a week. Hopefully he'll accept that. He does accept that. So that is going to be our last signing of this deadline day window. Joby Bellingham is in. We've got a couple of young players in the squad, and I think we will stick there. DePaul is out the door. Galatasaray at £20.9 million. Again, out of his end of contract. A declining player, an ageing player. So just smart business all round. Trying to get the average age of the squad down and build them for the future. So the transfer window is done and dusted, and plenty of players going out the door as we look to trim the squad. As you can see there, Musso, Koke, Lamar, Moldovan, Ruggieri, Costis, Martin, Perez, all leaving. James Trafford came in for £33 million. Cardoso went to Borussia Dortmund for 72. Joby Bellingham came in for 33. DePaul left for £20 million. Brennan Johnson in £32 million. Lenglet out of the door, £12 million. I think there's some good business that we've done there. I think it's a successful window. We'll have a look at the other transfers around the ground. PSG signing Camavinga for 141 million. Barcola to City, 91 million. Carreras to Leverkusen, 87 million pounds. Trent, Leipzig, 86 million pounds. Gabriel's gone to Bayern, 85. Some big transfers. Mason Greenwood, controversially, back to Manchester United, 80 million pounds. And of course, our transfer on that list. So a busy transfer window. Now it's time to kick on and focus on the league and the Champions League. Back on home soil then, as we look to make it 3 wins from 3 to kickstart season number 3. We made just one change as Conor Gallagher is rested for this game, as the young lad Hope, who's come through the academy, is into the squad for the first ever time as we hand him his debut. And we're just looking to put Sociedad to the sword early in this one as Cucurella's on the ball, goes inside to Almada. Almada on the edge of the box. Can we find anyone here? Does find Simeone, but he couldn't quite get the ball away. But already getting in behind Sociedad, who started the season brightly themselves. They're currently in 7th, so not a terrible start from them. Suic again, back to Suic. Sociedad with plenty of possession, and All Blacks forced into a save. We have not really switched on here. We've created absolutely nothing going forward, and Sociedad have had the better of the ball and the better of the chances so far in this one. So early warning signs are there that we need to be switched on in all games in La Liga. Just trust that our system is going to work and trust that we are going to get results, but we are not playing well so far. Sociedad coming forward. Again, they got a chance here. Suic, Hanko with a massive block, needed that. Reece James will just comfortably clear, but again, it is one-way traffic currently. We can't even really get out of our half at the minute, as Sociedad was such a high press, forcing plenty of mistakes. As Julian Alvarez on the ball now, looking to make something happen, and that's a good ball to Giuliano on the wing. Back to Alvarez. Reset it again to Barrios. Goes inside, but again, just trying to look for the force, and Alvarez didn't make the best option. Reece James reset, though. And find Simeone down this right-hand side once again, and we'll cut back inside and look for the ball to Hope in the middle, who's making its debut, and that would have been the perfect way to mark your territory. That's an Let's Go Madrid player. Sociedad still on the front foot, still coming forward. Can Cucurella get the head away? Does. Hope, can he win the second ball? Does, but can't find Julian Alvarez, and now Sociedad are going to come forward again. Hope and Cucurella just trying to double man the coverage, and does that, and Almada does really, really well. And now we could potentially look to counter-attack as Alvarez look for the ball. Should have gone over the top because we were in if he managed to find it. End of the first half. Tricky, congested, scrappy. Big 45 coming up. Simeone. Anyway, to Almada, finds Julian Alvarez, who's been so quiet in this game so far. We take our first clear-cut opportunity. I was about to say, Julian Alvarez really hasn't shown up in the games that we played. Of course, he scored that brace in the simulated game, but that is what he can do, and that is the running mate. He times his run to perfection, and we take the lead completely against the runner play, but we do not care. Berenik, Sociedad looking to get themselves back into this game. They do not deserve to be 1-0 down. Sušić, who's had a couple of chances, has another one, but that is going to be a corner. Good defending from Barrios to force the ball behind, as Sociedad may look to take the short. They won't. They'll put the ball into the box, and there's the header. Barrios with the clearance off the line. Big diving header. Huge from him as Reece James pumps the ball clear. Can Alvarez get there? No, he can't, but Barrios with a defining tackle on the edge to force the corner, and then a goal line clearance to keep the score at 1-0. And now, potentially now, Buena can come forward, finds Julian Alvarez on the edge of the box. Julian Alvarez has a pot from distance, and it's just wide. End-to-end stuff here. Couple of substitutions then. Conor Gallagher onto the pitch, one of them. Brennan Johnson also onto the pitch for his Atletico Madrid debut. Finds himself on the ball now as he'll be looking to put his mark on this game, I am sure, and show the manager why potentially he should be starting. Julian Alvarez goes out wide. Finds Brennan Johnson now on the ball for the first time. Takes the ball to the box to Conor Gallagher. Goal! Brennan Johnson lighting up the game, and the two subs link up straight away. And that is exactly the impact we wanted Brennan Johnson to make. Fabulous football from Atletico Madrid, and we may have just killed this game. Just a minute plus added time to go. We give the ball away in the midfield, but look at what I'm seeing so far. 3 games in, it's extremely early days. We know that. We will not get carried away. We've got such tougher tests coming up in both the Champions League and the league. But starting 3 from 3 in any league campaign is never a bad thing, and that's exactly what we've done. 9 points on the board. A perfect start to the season so far. We said we'd have harder tests coming up, and our first Champions League game as Atletico Madrid manager is PSG away. It doesn't come much more difficult than this. Couple of changes to the squad. Gallagher back in the starting lineup. Brennan Johnson gets his first start and full debut for Atletico, and is on the ball straight away and could make an instant impact. But this is going to be a real test for us as Reece James is on the ball now. Can he find Julian Alvarez? Does find Julian Alvarez, who shoots from distance, deflected. Is that a corner? It is a corner. But this is going to be a true test of where we are as a squad as Buena puts the ball into the box and finds Hanko, and that would have been special on the front foot to start. Vitinha on the edge of the box. Hanko does really well, and now we can potentially look to counter-attack as Almada's going to try and find Brennan Johnson, and finds Brennan Johnson, who's got pace. Brennan Johnson cuts inside to Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez tries to spin his man. Can he go back inside? Plays the ball to Almada for 1-0. Oh, it's breathtaking from Atletico Madrid. It is simply superb. What a ball that is from Julian Alvarez to find Almada, as potentially looked to shot, took the less greedy option. Brennan Johnson involved in the goal as well, which is brilliant to see. And we take the lead away at PSG. Lovely little dink in the back heel. Almada makes no mistake. Alvarez again, we come forward, and PSG look a little bit shell-shocked at just how quickly we started this game. We are not Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid anymore. We are a different beast, hopefully, this season. Almada on the edge of the box. Back to goal. Barrios will find the run of Reece James. Reece James, can he cut it back inside? No, PSG looking to put plenty of players around the box. Barrios now will have a pop potentially from distance. Good save from Courtois. Very familiar, of course, to these players on the pitch. Skelia now. Reece James just trying to track his man and not allow the ball to come into the boxes really well. João Neves, Camavinga, brilliant tackle from Normad. And Alvarez now potentially can look to make something happen as Alvarez is going to play in Brennan Johnson, and Brennan Johnson potentially is in here. He's got pace to burn. Can he get a shot on goal? Can he give us a 2-0 lead? He does! It could be the best £30 million that this club has ever spent, because in 2 games he's got a goal and an assist and a hand in another goal. That is absolutely breathtaking from Atletico Madrid, and we are absolutely cooking. Hakimi now, wonderful ball that is, to Rodrigo. He's potentially in on goal, could potentially have a shot. Plays it back to Hakimi on the edge, the skipper, looking to make something, looking for a bit of magic. Usman Dembele into Vitinha. Camavinga, brilliant tackle from Reece James to get the ball clear. Conor Gallagher semi-clears it. PSG are going to come forward again though through Vitinha. This is the quality they've got. They are never going to give up on a game of football, that's for sure. Hakimi does really well. Almada gets the tackle in, and on the stroke of half-time, we could potentially look to counter-attack because we are running away with it here. It's, just Pacho just comes across. What a 45 minutes that is, though, for Atletico Madrid. It's a long way to go yet, but if we can perform like that in the second half, it should be off to a brilliant start in the Champions League. PSG, I'm sure, will come out firing in this second half. They're on the ball early, and a goal would just make this a little bit more nervy. At 2-0, we've looked comfortable, but we need to just try and keep them out. This would be a sensational goal. Fair play. PSG, that is special. And within 10 minutes of the second half restarting, Hakimi has got PSG back into the game out of pretty much nowhere. And now we've got to switch on. This is the true test. Sorry, Barrios into Almada. Cucurella tries to find Julian Alvarez, and Julian Alvarez has just strayed offside. You've just got to stay switched on here. Big 30 minutes coming your way. There's a mistake. Alvarez is in. Alvarez is going to score. What are PSG doing? Just as they got back into the game, Julian Alvarez has been giving an early Christmas present and gets his first goal of the Champions League. That is schoolboy stuff from PSG, and the Parc des Princes is silenced. Brennan Johnson down this right-hand side now. Had a brilliant game so far, and a way to make your full debut, especially in the Champions League. Barrios to Gallagher. Gallagher tries to go inside. Camavinga's there to stop the ball, though. Gallagher goes out wide to Cucurella. And the ball potentially can now come into the boxes. Ball is into the box, but Courtois has come to be there to cover. We've only got 5 minutes left of this game. And providing something crazy doesn't happen here in Paris, we are going to beat a side that, of course, we played in the Champions League last year at Crystal Palace, and we got absolutely hammered in the quarter-final stages, I think it was. And it just gives you a flavour of how much better a squad this is than that Palace squad that we have left behind. And for me, really cements that decision that we took to leave and find ourselves a new club. As there's going to be an offside flag given. Fifth and final game of the episode then, which we will simulate. We are going to make a change. Simeone is going to come back in for Brennan Johnson, who I think has got a well-deserved rest there. So just looking for the perfect start of the season to continue and the luck to go our way. It does, just about. 2-1 win. Conor Gallagher gets the goal. Armada's got injury. Hopefully that isn't too bad, because that would be a real blow. Balokian got the ball. Julian Alvarez in the 88th minute snatched the victory. I say snatched. I mean, if you look at the stats, things were looking at pretty comfortable. Barrios with an 8 rating. Alvarez with a 9.2. That is what we want to see, but we need to hope that injury to Almada isn't a big one. It's not good news. An Achilles strain, and Thiago Almada will be out for up to 7 months with an injury. And that is just about as bad as it could got, because we don't have a great deal to cover in that cam position. Of course, we can play players in there, and it might be that Hope is the one that plays in there. Hope or Gallagher is probably the option. It's probably that we'll do. Or we could play Barrios potentially in that cam, but yeah, that I think that is what we're going to have to do. It's not good news at all, unfortunately, for Almada, and that is a real hit to the teeth, because he has been the big bright spark for us so far in this save, and I really don't have much cover at all to replace him with, but we'll make do with what we've got. Let's not dwell on that, though. A wonderful start to the season. 5 from 5. We have won all of the games that we have played so far. We've conceded just once in the simulation game, and we are 2 points clear of Villarreal. It is very early days. Games in hand for the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, who we will be playing very, very shortly. Down at the foot of the table, let's have a little look at this squad of the clubs that are struggling at the start. It is Seville, who have got 1 point so far, of Oviedo and Girona, all on 1 point and winless so far. Fixtures, there is some big ones, there is some juicy ones coming your way. It doesn't get much bigger than this. It's Barcelona and Real Madrid to kickstart episode number 3 before Feyenoord at home in the Champions League. We then go away to Oviedo, who are struggling at the bottom, for Espanyol. We can also see we've got Dortmund in the Champions League. Let's have a look at who else we've got. We've got Salzburg, Arsenal. That's going to be a tricky one. Liverpool. Champions League draw has not been kind to start here. It does get a little bit intro with Rackle and Lecce as the competition goes on, but a tricky run of games coming your way. We've made the perfect start to the season. We've made some really good transfer business, but there is a long way to go. As always, thank you so much for watching. The episodes will come thick and fast. We're going to be doing 3 a week going forward. I'll mix it up, whether it's player career mode or this, but they all work in tandem. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in a few days' time for the next episode.